Good morning, YouTubers. Tsquare with Tsquare Talk. So it is spring again, and with spring comes chickens, eggs, Easter. But what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be breaking out our Farm Innovators incubator, and we are going to be putting some eggs in it. So I'm pretty excited. So let's take a walk inside, and I will show you guys how it's done. Now, before we go inside, I'm going to gather up a bunch of these eggs. I'm guessing she ain't liking it, but we're going to take these all inside and get them in the incubator. Now, what I'm going to be using the Farm Innovators 4250 model. This thing is the best incubator out there. I've been using these now for a few years, and I really just love it. There's a lot of great qualities they've added to it. I don't know, depending on the incubator you have, if you've got it more recently, you'll have the new features that they've recently added last year, which is you can fill in the water trays from the sides instead of having to take all the eggs out halfway through and pull out the egg turner and then add water. Now you can just fill it up from the sides, which makes it really super easy to maintain your humidity. It has a nice digital reader, comes with everything you need. So we're going to bust this out of the box and we're going to get started setting this up. So the very first thing you do when you pull it out, you're going to want to put the base down on something nice and sturdy. You don't want it close to a door. Otherwise, if you're setting this up fairly early in the year and people are in and out, basically all that cold air coming in can cause it to go up and down. You want to just keep it kind of away from doors and windows. You don't want it in direct sunlight. And then the first thing you're going to do, you're going to pull out the base, put it on a nice surface. You want to be able to have access to the sides from the outside. That way you can kind of just pop these open later if you need to add more water. In the old days, you used to have to take everything out, but what they've done a great job making it real easy through the sides to just be able to inject the water right into the tray. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fill up this side. This is the larger compartment, and this should give me a good baseline on my humidity. So I'm going to put some water in there, and let's get that in. So as you can see, once I've got the water in there, now this is super easy later, so you can add more water if you have to. And by just opening it up, you're going to lose some of the humidity in there. It's going to build up. We're going to get this basically plugged in and set up, and then we're going to leave it alone for a day just to make sure everything is going smoothly, and then we'll put the eggs in. So with that, the first thing I'm going to do now is put in this. And that's going to be nice and stable. And then the next thing we're going to do is we are going to put in the egg turner. Now, when you put in the egg turner, one important thing to note, make sure your motor and your cord is in the corner that has the slit. Otherwise, it's not going to quite fit properly. Every time it turns, you can squeeze it in there, but don't do that. It can be done accidentally. You want this to have a nice smooth rotation when it starts turning them. So just make sure you use the motor in the corner with the cutout. Okay, so once you got the egg turner in there adjusted properly, I ended up actually spinning it just because I wanted the motor up against the wall so it was closer to the plug. That way I didn't have the cord wrapped around, just so I don't want to have a tripping hazard with kids running around, and that can cause a problem. If a kid trips over this and accidentally drops it, your eggs are done. So with that being said, the next thing you're going to do, you're going to put on the base, and then you'll end up plugging that in. So when you first plug it in and you get it all set up, your readings are going to be off. You're going to have the alarm light on because the temperature is not accurate. It's not going to take long for this thing to get to its normal operating temperature. However, it is recommended that you wait a day before you put the eggs in there. So I'm going to come back in a little while and continue the video for you. But I just kind of wanted you to see, look how quick. You can see how quick. And the reason it comes back so quick to accurate operating temperatures and humidity is because you want, if you open this up, say, to candle your eggs, you want it to come back. You don't want to like have to wait a whole day before the temperature in there comes back. So they've done a great job on that too. They also give you these little openings. So if you need humidity to come down, say your humidity is running too high and you need it to come down, you can just plug these in and it works great. Now, we are going to be doing a bunch of videos on this product and some other products that we use to kind of make it easy for you guys to set this up. I've been using this now, like I said, for years. I love this product. I've had awesome turnouts with my chickens. We've gotten as many, like almost 95%, I think, is our best. So I'm hoping this year will be the year that we pull 100% will hatch. But there's so many factors when hatching eggs that you could have. If one thing goes wrong, you could lose some of your eggs. It ain't always the temperature and the humidity. Everybody thinks that it's just temperature and humidity. I mean, I've heard so many reasons why theirs didn't hatch. Basically, I've had one person actually tell me that they didn't need a rooster to have their eggs hatch. So you do want a rooster. Your hens are going to produce the eggs for you. If you're only using your eggs to eat, then you don't need a rooster. They will still lay eggs. However, if you are going to hatch them, it's important that you do have a rooster. I have 4 roosters right now. I have a Barred Rock rooster, an Americana rooster, what's the other kind? Can't even think of all the kinds. A Rhode Island Red rooster and one other one. And we get roughly 2 to 3 dozen eggs a day, so we get tons of eggs from these guys. So with that being said, we're going to wait a little while and then we will put the eggs in. And we'll talk a little bit about the eggs in other videos too, so that way you can kind of look at your eggs. Some people like mostly hens, and there's some tips that you can basically increase your hen production more than roosters. I don't like 50-50 because most of the roosters get eaten or given away to people that don't mind raising them for food. However, the hens I like, because I like my egg production to be high. Okay, so since I was collecting my eggs, I figured I would take a quick minute and just kind of show you guys what I mean with the eggs to increase your hen population. So as these 2 eggs, they look pretty well similar. I know some people right off the bat are saying, well, that one's a little lighter. Basically, the lightness is the type of mixture between the rooster and the hen. Some will come out white, some will come out brown, some will come out olive, depending on what type. Americanas actually come out like a greenish blue. There's so many different colors of eggs, but that's not the determining factor. What I have found to be most accurate is the roundness versus the pointness of the egg. So as you look at this egg, it's going to be more rounded. And on this egg, you have more of a point to it. Now, if you are putting in eggs that are pointed, kind of they have that point, make sure you put the smaller egg pointing down. And I'll mention this again tomorrow when we actually start filling this incubator up. On these, you know, whichever end's bigger, but it's really, when they're more rounded, I tend to get more hens, which I kind of like I said. So that's one key. We're also, like I said, putting together a series on how to basically get the best turnouts with this incubator, and this is one of the videos that's in the series. So I highly recommend, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up for me, leave me a comment, let me know, because I always follow the comments. When it's not chicken season, I'll be honest, it's hard to get to every comment because I have so many videos. We're approaching 1,000 videos online right now. So when it's older, when the video is like a year old, I don't always get to the comments as regularly as newer videos. During the chicken season, I try to help everybody out that's trying to do this. I think this is an important part of homesteading. You should know how to raise your own chickens. And some people will actually have the chickens hatch them. They won't even use the incubator. But with that being said, we're going to be back tomorrow, and we're going to get these loaded up. So I'll be right back. Now, one thing I do like to do is I like to get my eggs the day before or the day of putting them in the incubator. The longer an egg sits out in your coop, the less chance I believe that you will have of hatching it. However, do not refrigerate the eggs that you are going to put in the incubator. I have found, I've actually done a lot of hatching eggs, and we found that when we've done half the incubator refrigerated, half the incubator unrefrigerated, we've actually found that unrefrigerated eggs has a better chance of hatching. We have hatched both. However, our percentages go up when they're not refrigerated, so I do not refrigerate them. Also, I've noticed some people will say you're not supposed to wash them when you put them in. I do rinse off my eggs. I don't use any kind of soap or chemical. I do just rinse them off with lightly warm water and basically clean it off, because these incubators do become a breeding ground for bacteria based on the temperature in there. Now, don't get me wrong, by saying that, it's not like going to be all yucky. I mean, I've got plenty of videos that show the whole process. However, you do want to make sure that you kind of just rinse them off, so, and that way there ain't like dirt on them and stuff. So we're gonna get these cleaned up. Okay, so we are back. I have 41 eggs here in front of me that I picked each one individually because I want a mix. One, I want mostly hens if I can get that, and two, you also want to try to, I find that I like bigger eggs usually, except for sometimes I'll put some of these small ones in here because, like I said before, each of the eggs, the color and the size, usually can tell you the type of bird that it is. So like these little ones, I know that I have bantams. So when I get really tiny eggs, that's usually my bantams. Now bantams, when they hatch, they are super cute right from day one, and they just continue to get cuter. However, they're not a big egg layer. As you can see, you get tiny eggs from them. Now the Rhode Island Reds, on the other hand, look at these eggs. These eggs are huge. I can break open one of them eggs, fry it, and put it on a burger, and it like covers the whole patty. And I use big quarter-pound patties. So with that being said, I've got a good mix here. Also, big eggs increases the survival rate, I believe, because sometimes you'll have the chicken inside, the little chick will start growing, and if it outgrows the egg before it's time to hatch, it will unfortunately pass away inside. And you'll know this because when you are all done your incubation process, sometimes people will, after a 3-day wait period, they'll actually break open the eggs to check. I have actually done this because I like to know where I went wrong, and we're going to talk more about that in later videos at the end. It is a little yucky of a video, but we're going to talk more about that. So with that being said, we're going to pop this baby open and we're going to start putting these in. Now also, if you do have some that have a little bit of a point, put your larger end, your larger side of the egg, in the up position, because that's where the baby's chick's head is going to be. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pop this open and start putting them in. Now, one thing I do is I will actually, when I am cleaning them, rinsing them off, I will actually set them the way that they should. So most of these are already going to be in the positioning with the smaller end down. Okay, so I did just put the 41 eggs in. Now, in this position right here, there is a cap that goes there because basically the results are you almost never will have that egg hatch. I've actually put that to the test. I think it has something to do with the extra heat that's put off by the motor. So now they put the cap over it. However, when you break this thing apart to clean it, which we will be doing videos on how to properly clean everything, it's easy to lose the cap, and I just temporarily misplaced it. So, or it's in one of the other boxes, because like I said, I have a few of these incubators. Once these start hatching, if you sell a dozen eggs in the area where I'm at, I sell an 18-pack for $5. I sell a dozen for $3. I know if you're doing the math, you're like, that's a little off. However, that's just the price that everybody else sets, so I kind of roll with it. However, I have been like, well, in that case, then I'll take 2 dozen. You know, you can actually if you do the math, break down the difference. So with that being said, though, I don't put it here because of the motor. And we will definitely be back. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you guys need to know. Probably not much else you need to know. Make sure you check out all of our videos. I'm going to put some links in the bottom. And I'm also putting together a playlist with tips to increase your egg production. And we'll be doing this plenty more times during the chicken season because everybody likes these videos. They are popular searched items. So with that being said, I thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys again on Tsquare Talk. Take care, guys. One more note before I run off. If you did enjoy this video or it was helpful, please hit that thumbs up button. Also, if you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Most importantly, leave me a comment. I love reading y'all's experiences. And if you have any questions, leave me a comment. Hope to see you guys again on Tsquare Talk. Take care, guys.